So I'm going to take you on a tour of my die-cast collection room. This is Contour Toy Cars. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And what I'm going to do is first just kind of give you a quick overview. This is going to be about 99% of my loose collection. And what you'll start noticing is I try to be as organized as possible. So let me give you a little bit of a lay of the land. And then I'm going to be going through my collection in detail. So sit back, relax, grab a beverage, and let's get settled in. I'm going to start with talking a little bit how I organize. As you can see here, I have my Google Sheets spreadsheet. This has been what works the best for me. I know there's Microsoft Excel, probably a couple other softwares as well, but this is what's been working the best for me. It's also always on the cloud through Google Storage. Don't need to worry about it getting corrupted. I can also access it on my smartphone via the Google Sheets app. And I do have every single casting, both loose and carded, on this spreadsheet. Different categories, as you can see here. Casting when it was debuted, the brand, the actual name of the casting, the color, etc., etc. So, I mean, this has been a game changer. It really, really helps to have everything logged. You know, if I'm looking for some information for an upcoming video I'm shooting, or just need to refresh my memory on something, it's just so convenient to have every single casting logged like this. I won't lie, in the beginning, actually putting this spreadsheet together was pretty tedious. I think I did several 3 or 4 hour sessions. Probably in total, it took me 12 hours, I would estimate. But once you put the work in, it is an absolute game changer. I love having everything right in front of me. I even do have the year and month that it was acquired. So I just really try to stay organized, not only with spreadsheet, but also just with how everything is laid out. So up here on my 50 count display, make sure that focuses for you. I typically organize by casting debut year. So we'll get into that a little bit more up here. This display down here is my premium models. These trays are really nice. I purchased these at Michael's. It's an arts and crafts store here in the States. They do stack as well, which is really, really nice. So I do store those down in this drawer, but figured for the video, I would pull these out just so you can get an up close and personal look. So again, organization, organization, organization. I have my Disney cars here, my loose Spectraflame collection. And then these are all the loose mainline versions of supers I've found in the wild. I've found a total of 8 different castings in Super Treasure Hunt form. So these are all the mainline versions of those supers. Also have here, just where I work in front of me, I like to have some of my favorites just, sitting next to me as I work at my computer. Some of these bigger plastic models are fun to just kind of, zoom around. I am a die-cast collector. Yes, I do like rolling them around on my desk. And then you seasoned collectors are probably quite familiar with this container, this storage solution. This is the Creative Options Thread Organizer. Holds 48 cars. If you do want to get really fancy, you can go ahead and purchase the Dayton Die-Cast Divider. It is that little 3D printed piece right in the middle of the teal and brown car. Try and get it to focus for you. There we go. And it pretty much turns that larger compartment into 2 smaller separate compartments, just so everything is nice and uniform. Again, holds 48 cars. I have personally found it's one of the best ways to store loose models. I have heard some other collectors complain that when you do get to when you get a lot of volume in your collection, I have heard complaints of it does take up too much space, but for my collecting needs, for the size of my collection, I think it works just fine for me. I also love that it's see-through, so you can see directly in it. You don't have to go through a cardboard box and remember what you have. It's all right in front of you. And again, these 3 organizers are organized as well. Organizers organize. So we have this first one is my miscellaneous brands. So we got some Tomica, some Majorette in there. This one here is entirely Hot Wheels. Again, all organized by casting debut year. So you can see that twin mill right there that starts in 1969, and then it goes all the way through up to this side of the of this organizer. We get to the most current 2024 castings. And then this last one is my loose Matchbox collection. So really, really easy to store this way. Last thing I'll show before we get into a little bit more detail are these bins that I use for storage. So top left here is just a plastic container I purchased from Target. This holds all of my sort of cute, like short wheelbase type castings. Kind of my guilty pleasure. I absolutely love this like cute, just small, plump kind of styling. I'm very passionate about art and design. We'll get into more of that later. So that's just a great way to hold all these relatively small castings. This smaller one down here is going to be my pocket riders. So if I'm running out the door, just open up this drawer, grab one of my pocket riders, and I'm good to go about my day with one of my loose cars on me. And then this pretty much shoe bin sized container is all the models that don't fit into those organizers or these organizers. So you can see I have a monster truck. I have some of these larger Choro Q style models. I'll show you the other one as well. And then on the bottom layer, separated by this bubble wrap, just some more that don't fit into those creative options thread organizers or the trays that I have up on my desk. So we will put those away for now. And I did want to start up here on my loose Spectraflame collection. Spectraflame was on Hot Wheels cars at the very beginning. I mean, right when they came out in 1968, they came out with a bang. They wanted to grab this ultra shiny paint. They wanted to have a highly stylized design philosophy, a lot of custom cars, a lot of modified cars. You seasoned collectors are obviously familiar with the Sweet 16. Those were the first 16 castings that were ever released by Hot Wheels. And those models were an international success. I mean, it was like nothing else at the time. Their main competitor was obviously Matchbox. In fact, they actually used a Matchbox car for part of their prototyping phase, which is a little fun fact for you. But there was nothing else like this. They were low friction wheels. They roll right across your desk super fast with those low friction wheels. They have this beautiful ultra shiny Spectraflame paint that just glows at you. It's absolutely gorgeous. So we're gonna get into these models, try and go one by one. First up is the 18 Camaro SS. This was a 2024 B case super treasure hunt. Love those 5 spokes. And great tampos as well. We have the orange stripes on top and then this really neat design on the side as well. Favorite Super Treasure Hunt from 2024, actually. We'll move on to another 2024 Super Treasure Hunt. This is the Volvo P1800 Gasser, and this is actually my first Super that I found multiple of, hence why it's loose. Still a little nervous to open up my Supers where I only have one of, but I figured, you know what, I found multiple of these. Let's go ahead, pop it out of the packaging, and I mean, it does not disappoint. Just the way this shines, you really don't get a full appreciation for it unless it's out of the packaging where you can see, virtually every single angle. So that one's an awesome one. Classic Hot Wheels as well. You have the blown out engine, gasser style, classic Hot Wheels, right? They've been doing that sort of wild design language ever since they started back in 1968. So this is the Mazda 787B, very iconic car in motorsport history. This was the 24 Hour of Le Mans winner, and it was in this exact livery as well. And the reason it's such a big deal is this was the first ever Japanese manufacturer to win Le Mans. Not only that, but it was also the first rotary engine. Mazda is the first automaker who successfully engineered the rotary engine. And this car, who won the Le Mans 24-hour race back in 1991, I believe, was the first ever rotary engine to win that race. So really, really historic, really beautiful car. It's awesome to see Hot Wheels give it that super treasure hunt treatment with those Real Rider tires and the Spectraflame paint. Just love it, absolutely gorgeous. So a couple in here, I wanted to make this point. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know I've preached this quite heavily, but happy to talk about it again. Series such as Hot Wheels Classics came out from 2005 to 2009, and series like Hot Wheels ID that came out from 2019 to 2022, those are series that are going to be a great way to get more affordable Spectraflame into your collection. So obviously, take for example these Supers. Us collectors don't have time to look day and night, hoping to get lucky, hoping to find that $1, well, $1.20, $1.30 nowadays, model that wears that Spectraflame treatment. So series such as these series, again, Hot Wheels Classics was from 2005 to 2009. These on the secondary market really don't fetch too high of price. I mean, some of these go for as little as $5. Probably even the less popular ones, we're talking $3. But all of them are gonna have that beautiful Spectraflame paint. So this one is the Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato. Beautiful car. I found this at a toy show back in, what would that be, January 2023. So exactly a year ago, actually. We'll go to this one. This is the Tesla Model S from the Hot Wheels ID line. And I'll make a more detailed video about the Hot Wheels ID later. But again, it does wear that beautiful Spectraflame paint, and it is a very affordable way to get more Spectraflame into your collection. Every single Hot Wheels ID does have that Spectraflame, and they have the more unique plastic wheels as well. So conversely, we have the little bit higher end Spectraflame. We have this RLC, this is the Honda S2000, quite limited, only 10,000 of these were made. Beautiful sort of bronze Spectraflame paint. And the RLC models, that stands for Red Line Club, for any of you new collectors. These are purchased through, they're direct to consumer. They're purchased through Mattel Creations. It used to be way more difficult for people to join RLC. It used to only be like one day out of the year, and everybody had to hop on their computer and hope to get lucky to be able to get a membership. They've since then made it a lot easier. It's open to everybody. You can just go on to Mattel Creations, find the latest RLC car that you want to pick up, and you just add the membership right to your cart for $10. It's $10 a year, gets you access to all of the newest drops. Some of them do sell out, so you have to be on top of things, regarding release dates and knowing what you want and how to get it. But RLC, it's not something I personally collect. I got this particular model from a friend actually as a gift. But when you start to notice that pretty much all diecast is cool, I mean, think about it. When we go to the shelves, of course, a lot of you fellow collectors probably don't focus too much on fantasy, which is often a leftover on the pegs. But generally speaking, like, cars are cool. A lot of diecast is cool. And I found if I just want to pick up every single thing I think is cool, I mean, I would run out of space almost instantly. So I really try to get more specific on what exactly makes me the most happy, brings me the most amount of joy. And RLC was something that is something I can live without. Hence why I don't really collect that. But yeah, so the difference between the Spectraflame, you have series like Hot Wheels Classics or Super Treasure Hunts. They have quote unquote a lower tier Spectraflame versus the RLC models have a little bit more of a premium, air quote, premium Spectraflame finish on there. So we'll get going on this second row here. This is the Fiat 500D Modificato, another 2024 Super Treasure Hunt. Let me get this to focus. Bear with me. Oops. There we go. So nice little gold nugget. We have 3 more Hot Wheels Classics. Love that Volkswagen Beetle here. I'll show you the silhouette on this one. Really, really nice silhouette. Very simple, very beautiful. You'll find that is the main theme in my collection. I love just simple shapes, simple contours, a little bit unique as well, but overall just simple silhouettes. Nothing too crazy. I don't typically collect kind of more of your hot rods, your blown out engines, your JDM. I like just simple, beautiful, unique. And that'll be a common theme as we continue through my collection here. This is the Carbon Ghia from Hot Wheels Classics. Great blue paint on there. And then this is a really hefty casting. This is the Dairy Delivery. Some of you may be familiar with this. Very, very iconic late 90s Hot Wheels casting by designer Phil Reelman, rocking that beautiful aqua Spectraflame paint. And something to note is any of these larger castings, I mean, just look at this surface area you have. This is a really great way for the designers to just have a total field day on making different graphics. That's why you'll often see in series such as the Pop Culture series that Hot Wheels produces, they have just so much more room to put, say, a character from a movie or a comic character. So it's essentially just a canvas on wheels when you really go down to its bare bones. So these hefty castings not only feel great in the hand, but the designers really get to have a field day with the artwork, with the graphic design that they put on the side of that vehicle. So this is going to be one of my rarest in my collection. This is the NFT Series 2 Aristo-Rat. Aristo-Rat is a casting designed by Dima. And it kind of resembles what I typically don't collect, which is sort of a maximalist approach. I mean, it's absolutely wild. It's rat rod, right? It's all these pieces, sort of, the builder of this car scavenged for all these parts, had stuff laying around, and it just came out like an absolute beast. You have like this pickup truck bed in the back. You have a spoiler. You have some sort of car sitting in there, and then all of this crazy engine stuff up in the front. So really unique, really neat piece. And again, one of the rarest in my collection. I believe there were only just over 1,200 of these produced from the NFT Series 2 drop. Another NFT, this is series, this is 8, I believe, the Lincoln Continental in a gorgeous Spectraflame root beer. It's a 10 out of 10 execution. I mean, the 68 call out to that 1968 when Hot Wheels was born. We have the HWNFTG up on the top as well there. Hot Wheels NFT Garage. We have the beautiful flames, some pin striping. The execution, let me tell you, it's when you feel it in your hand too, it's extremely, extremely impressive. So that's a really nice piece in the collection. We'll move over here real quick. Again, I said this at the start of the video, but this is essentially my main lines to the supers that I have found. So ideally, I'd like to find hopefully 2 more to round out my first 10 ever supers found in the wild. But I'll just quickly go through which model is which. We have the Porsche 918 Spyder. That was a 2020 Super Treasure Hunt. Another 2020 Super Treasure Hunt was this custom 69 Chevy pickup. We then have this gorgeous Japanese car. This is the Mazda Cosmo Sport. Absolutely love that design. We have the 18 Camaro SS, which I did show you the loose version just a few moments ago. We have the Fiat 500D, also showed you that one. Audi 90 Quattro. Volvo P1800 Gasser. Love the transition from this mainline to the Super. It's just amazing. And then the Mazda 787B, very historic vehicle. All right, so from there, let's go right over here actually to the premium section. So these are all essentially premium models, a lot more higher price tag, a little bit more detail as well compared to your typical $1 mainline model. This first one here is the Porsche 911 GT3 by Tarmac Works. I acquired this back in 2020 as a gift. We then have the Mercedes AMG GT by Tarmac Works. I got this in late 2021. Absolutely love buses, so you will see quite a few in my collection. This is the Corgi Siegel Birmingham, I can't remember. It doesn't say on the side. I think it's Birmingham. Really nice silhouette. Again, simple, beautiful, unique contours. That is what I'm all about in my collection. I'm just very passionate about art and design, and I love simple, unique. I love, you almost instantly recognize a silhouette of a Porsche, for example. How does that differ to the silhouette of a Mercedes AMG GT, where it has a long hood, a short deck? You just can tell those subtle differences, yet it's instantly recognizable. We have this Tomica Limited Vintage. This is a Toyota coaster. I live in the States. I've still never seen a Toyota coaster in person. I have a feeling I'm going to be obsessed with it because I love this scale of this bus. Just not as long as the ones we find here in America. A little bit more quaint, a little bit smaller of a size, and I just think it looks really, really nice. And yeah, definitely a bucket list for me to be able to see one in person. This one here is a really sentimental one to me. This is the Toyota Hiace. I acquired this after after a trip to Mexico with my wife. And we finish off with this Kyosho Porsche Cayman. That was my first acquisition of 2024, so that one is also exactly a year old. Okay, we'll do a few more around my desk, and then we'll get up to the 50-car display up top. We have this gorgeous piece that I acquired at the 2024 Matchbox gathering in Albuquerque. Every year they meet up at a hotel there, and it was an incredible experience. Met a lot of great collectors, a lot of seasoned collectors as well. Most of the guys I talked to were like, yeah, I've been coming here since the very first one. It was just an unforgettable experience, once in a lifetime as well. And in one of the guys' rooms, they had this beautiful Bedford low loader, pretty mint condition. And this one was made, fellow collectors, if you can believe this, in the 1950s. I just cannot believe that it has stayed in this good of a condition since the 1950s. It's just absolutely insane. Matchbox has been around since 1953, and I believe this was like late 50s was when they produced this one. And I also do have the original box, which does look like a Matchbox. That's how Matchbox got its name. The founder wanted to fit a small enough scale casting into a Matchbox, so that's why they called it Matchbox. We also have a Lean Custom Spin, that's an Acura. And we have this Tomica. This is a nice tram. I'm really into transportation. Again, also just a simple silhouette. Instantly recognizable, but simple. Really cool find at a Diecast toy show last, probably like a few months ago. I think September 2024. And that's really the beauty of collecting in general, is every single casting has a story behind it. Whether that's your personal connection, your emotion towards that casting, or simply just how you acquired it. Maybe you found it in the strangest way. Maybe it was gifted to you, so you were going to treasure that forever. You think of that person every time you look at it. There's just so many stories and memories that you can attach to these physical cars, which is just one of the many, many reasons I am so passionate about this hobby and have so much fun and get so much joy from being in this hobby. So we have some of my favorites here. Again, I like to sit some of my favorites where I work. Again, I'm a collector, I'm a nerd. I like to look at some of my favorites, kind of move them around a little bit. Here we have my all-time favorite Hot Wheels casting, Hot Wheels Sup Dog. I just recently acquired this hard-to-find color variant. It came from a Truck and Transporters set back in 2011. And I didn't even really know it existed until recently. But I love the shape of it. I love the futuristic styling. The greenhouse is such a unique shape. Greenhouse is the section that kind of encloses where the driver and passenger sits. And just beautiful contours as well up in the hood area. So absolutely love that one. It is my top favorite. We also have this Formula Street McDonald's toy. This one's a fun antique mall find. It's McNuggets Safari. How fun is that? And for some reason, I always I don't know if this is just in my head or if, again, I'm just a nerd, but for some reason it reminds me of like a track vehicle for like a ride at Disney or something. I guess just how it moves. It also has this middle wheel where you have a ripcord. You can actually make this drive by using a ripcord. But just the kind of clanky nature of it when you feel it in your hand, just reminds me of like a ride vehicle of some sort. And again, I just love that unique shape. Simple, unique. We have this drift rod. This was released by Hot Wheels in collaboration with the Loyal Subjects back in 2019. And then we have this Ballistics Hot Wheels. It does fold up into a ball, actually. So again, just good play value, good piece to have sitting on my desk. I do like kind of that clanky feeling. Very tactile experience, if you will. So those are the ones up where I work. Let's jump up to the 50 car display. 50 and some change. We have the ones up top as well. And I'm trying to decide where I would like to start. These are my pride and joy, everybody. I only have a casting in my collection if I'm absolutely obsessed with it. In fact, on a regular basis, I am going back into my collection, whether it's up here or in these displays, or excuse me, containers that we'll get to in a second. If I'm not absolutely obsessed with it, I get rid of it. I drive over to Goodwill and I donate it. I am very, very specific in particular in what stays in my collection. I find there's no need to acquire a bunch of stuff and just throw it in a bin. I want to be enjoying every single piece in my collection, which, by the way, at this moment of recording, this is being recorded in January 2025. My collection is at exactly 441 castings. If it doesn't bring me joy, I'm getting rid of it. I have no shame in doing that. If it is a higher end piece, sure, I'll try and trade it or make a buck or two off of it. But I want to just be very particular. I don't want to have tens of, I don't want 10 plus bins just sitting in storage somewhere. I want to enjoy every single vehicle that comes into my collection. If it's something I acquired a week ago, a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, that no longer brings me joy, I have no problem getting rid of it, having it out of my collection. And all that is logged here on the spreadsheet. So let's go up top here. We have some mini racers by Disney Cars. Disney Cars is my favorite movie. This one here is Harvey Rodcap, a next-gen racer. We have Paul Conrev, another one of my favorite next-gens. And my all-time favorite car in real life and in 1/64 scale. Not this particular version. We'll get to my all-time 1/64 scale favorite in a second. But this is the Audi TT from the Disney Cars 2. So we'll actually do a quick pan here. And I'm going to start at the bottom, which is where my top 5 favorite Hot Wheels castings and top 5 favorite Matchbox castings live. You did see this one on my desk already. Yes, I have multiple versions. We have Sup Dog, Hot Wheels Trim Truck. Love, again, just the simple, beautiful design. It's a unique silhouette. This was from the Hot Wheels Torpedo series back in 2005. We have Hot Wheels Moto Blade. Great design by Mark Jones. One of the characteristics that he loves doing in his designs is sort of these like flowing, sweeping lines. As someone, again, who loves art, design, unique contours, that was a no-brainer. It's been in my top 5 for a while now. Then we have Formula Street. This one is by our beloved Ryu Asada. He pumped out just so many amazing, amazing castings. A little bit more of like a cute styling, I would say. And then this one is Robo Race Robocar. This is technically a real-life car. However, I'm not sure you can call it licensed, so it's kind of pseudo-licensed, pseudo-fantasy is kind of how I describe it, but very futuristic. It's a self-driving vehicle, so the designer was really challenged with how do you come up with a design that doesn't need to house a driver and a passenger. That's where you get this really unique shape where, again, we have no greenhouse where the driver and passenger sit. We just have a very futuristic autonomous vehicle, which is really, really cool. I totally love that kind of stuff. So we'll move over to the Matchbox top 5. This is my all-timer here. So I just mentioned the Audi TT in the Disney car section. This is my all-time favorite Matchbox, or all-time favorite any brand, to be honest. This red Audi TT Mark I, which was produced in the year 2000 by Matchbox. We have this Malibu Marauder. Favorite feature on this one is those little boogie boards that are casted, so actual metal casted into the back. You can totally see this cruising around Malibu, as it is called the Malibu Marauder. I love going to the beach. My wife and I love the beach. We love the sunshine, so that's a really, really fun piece. We also have this one from the, I believe, Universal era, the Leyland Articulated Petrol Tanker. It's an awesome truck in such a small size, but it's built just so well. Such a good build. Beautiful engineering. Then we have the Matchbox self-driving bus. This was a new casting in the year 2020. And we have this Lesney regular wheels. This is the Iron Fairy crane. It is my favorite from the regular wheels era. And as you can see, the crane does move. Really cool feature. So I'm very, very passionate about this next row. These are my Choro Q cars. If any of you American collectors are familiar with the Tonka penny racers, this is essentially Japan's version of that. So we have a Mazda Cosmo Sport on the end here. We have a Datsun, Toyota Celica, Suzuka C-Bus, red Lamborghini, orange Lamborghini, blue Nissan 350Z hardtop, red Nissan 350Z convertible, and this Mitsubishi Lancer is actually my first ever eBay purchase as an adult collector. I started collecting back in 2019, so I'm entering my 6th year of collecting. This is a very special piece as it is my first ever eBay purchase. As you can imagine, I've made hundreds of eBay purchases at this point, so this one's really special, just knowing that it was my first adult collecting eBay purchase. And we have this little Nissan Micra, really cute styling. We'll bump up to this next row. We have another antique mall find. This is the Little Tykes family car, really small scale, just a unique design. And we also have the Cartoon. Cartoon came out in 2024, so just last year. I'm filming this in January 2025. And the first series was American. I have heard that second series coming out later this year is JDM. So I know a lot of collectors are probably going to be excited about that. This is the 63 Corvette with, yes, that split window in the back. That is iconic within Chevrolet's history, honestly. It's just a timeless design as well, the 63 Chevy Corvette. And these next four are really, really cool collaborations. So Takara, who makes these Choro Q cars, as well as Tomica, collaborated with Matchbox, who at the time, these were produced in the 80s, was owned by Universal, a Chinese company. And they collaborated with an artist from Germany who's known for sort of these organic, sort of flowing lines within his sculpting. So let me recap that for a second. These four cars, which were produced in the 80s, are a collaboration between Japan, China, and a German artist. I just think that is the coolest thing ever. The fact that 3 different nationalities worked on this project together. Again, of course, as you can hear, I'm so passionate about art and design, and it's so cool that these different entities worked with an artist to bring these toy cars to life. So we start with my favorite of the 4, this silver one. I just love those sort of sweeping lines. You can kind of think of it like an older Le Mans car, that kind of styling on the side there. We have this futuristic one, kind of gives me like EV vibes, like a 90s EV where the back wheel is covered. We have this blue one. This was my first acquisition of the 4. I found this one, actually I got it in a trade from Level M Diecast at the Matchbox gathering in 2024. That one definitely has like open wheel, sort of Formula 1 IndyCar vibes. And this is a really fun one too. This is the gold one. Kind of just like futuristic race car. Speaking of futuristic race car, we move on to the next row, which is 5 miscellaneous diecast brands. This first one is Majorette. This one is called the Fiction Racer concept car in blue. We have my first ever trade with a gentleman named Leo. Leo, shout out to you if you're watching this. Awesome collector. I see him around at some of the Chicago diecast toy shows. This was my first ever trade. I traded him a purple Hot Wheels Porsche for this loose Yapming truck. Love this thing so much. Look at the ice cream livery. We have a Mini GT BMW M4 with that iconic M stripe. And we have a MC toy, Audi TT, my all-time favorite car. And then we have a Tomica. Really cool bus, super high-decker bus, I believe is the name of this one. Okay, we're a little bit more than halfway. I'm gonna try and truck through these last ones, and then we're gonna get to the containers as well. So I hope you've been enjoying so far. Thank you if you're already this far into the video. Really appreciate you for tuning in. I love sharing my collection with other fellow collectors, so it's great that you are here. I really appreciate it. Again, I am Contour Toy Cars. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. These next 3 rows are my Hot Wheels collection, at least loose collection up here on the 50 car count display. Again, organized by casting debut year. So we have Speed Shark, a 1991 release, Power Circuit, Chevy 1500. Then we get into the 2000s with this Chevy Suburban, Cunningham, and et cetera, et cetera. It goes all the way down to 2024. which is this Aston Martin DB4 GT High Speed Edition. Really cool collaboration between Hot Wheels and Aston Martin. So I'll give you just a close-up look at each of those. There's your Speed Shark power circuit from a McDonald's toy. Chevy 1500, really cool livery designed by Michael Giralda. Chevy Suburban, big chunky casting, absolutely love that one. You don't see those wheels very much as well. Those are 6-spoke blings. And we have this unique casting, the Cunningham. We'll move down to the next row. This is the old number 3, designed by Mark Jones. We have Stock R, Semi-Psycho, and you have to excuse the fire truck driving by. We have Impavido number 1, a Phil Reelman design. Side Ripper, another unique one. Tesla Model 3. Now this was actually when I was first getting into collecting, this was the model I remember the most, that I can vividly remember picking up from the pegs. So that's a really special piece in the collection. We also have the BMW M2. I actually used this vehicle to ask my groomsmen to be my groomsmen. I put like a little bow tie sticker on the hood of the car. It was really, really fun. They appreciated it. And of course, it was a great time. McLaren Senna in that beautiful papaya orange. RV There Yet by Lindsay Lee. And then we went over that Aston Martin DB4 GT High Speed Edition. Let's wrap things up with the Matchbox section here. Again, organized by casting debut year. First up, we have the Peterbilt. Next, we have this Volvo TT truck. This one's a great one. Chevy Bel Air hardtop. My favorite execution of any Chevy Bel Air is this one by Matchbox. We have this armored truck with the Mattel livery. Nissan 350Z. That and Audi TT were my top 2 favorite cars growing up. We have this Hero City. This was a quite infamous line amongst collectors. This is the Mixopotamus. I just think it's quirky and funny and silly and cool. We have a Bentley Continental. Austin, what is this? Austin minivan, I believe. Wearing an electrician livery. That one's fun. And speaking of a commercial vehicle, we then have this Renault Kangoo with a locksmith livery. And we'll round things out with this Morris, what is this one? Morris Minor? Morris Minor Saloon. This was the 70th anniversary, which would have been 2023. So we will pan down to the last tray that I forgot to mention. This is the Disney cars. I know not all of you are probably as interested with these, but I'll just do a quick rundown. We have Chase Race Lot, not a Chase. Lightning McQueen, obviously. Lewis Hamilton. Shoe, the Le Mans car. We have a silver Cruz Ramirez wearing the Dynaco livery. We have Tim Treadless, a silver Nitroade. We have Jay Limo. He's supposed to be Jay Leno. Just recently acquired this as a gift from a family member, so that's a really, really cool one. They even got like how Jay's chin looks. It's really, really cool. And then we have this Porsche. This is a Racing Red Sally. And that is Otis, I believe. Cool, cool rust sort of finish on there. And lastly, we're gonna go through these Creative Options thread organizers. So this is my Matchbox section here. Again, organized by casting debut year. We have a Porsche 910, Team Matchbox, Site Dumper. We have that little camper, Land Rover Defender 90, FJ Holden, Mercedes Tractor, Volkswagen Beetle, MGF 1.8i, jet ski, Volkswagen Beetle convertible with the, I don't know if you can see through, but the front windshield there does have the 2000 symbol. Matchbox did this for a period of time around the late 90s, early 2000s. Any casting with that symbol is one of the first 10,000 that they produced. So just a little fun fact for any of you who collect Matchbox. We have the Rapid, what is this one called? Rapid something. Raging? Something Rapids boat, or raft, something along those lines. We have the Audi TT Mark 1 with the rear spoiler in a beautiful dark gray. Audi TT Mark 1 with no spoiler. This was the first release. It is a Germany only release. Got really excited when I was able to acquire that one. We have Nissan Xterra. That is the only moving parts Matchbox in my collection. Actually, forgive me, that's inaccurate. I have two. It's this one and the Land Rover camper that came out in 2024. Volkswagen van. Lock Boxer from Matchbox Hero City. Max Tractor and Squawky Talkie from Matchbox Hero City. Which one is that? That is... oh gosh. Why am I blanking on this one? Mercedes. I'm having a total brain glitch right now. We'll come back to that one. We have the Mitsubishi Triton. Target Red Edition. This is the Holden Ute. And a Matchbox Coupe. Why am I blanking on that one? It's going to come to me like in a couple seconds. We'll keep moving on here. We have the food truck wearing the taco livery designed by Michael Giralda. Malibu Marauder, we saw that in my top 5. BMW i3. International E-Star van. Cadillac Escalade. Nissan Leaf. Mercedes, what is this one? GLE Coupe, I believe. Mini Cooper. Land Rover Defender 110. This was the Mattel Creations release. Subaru SVX from the Collector Series. Nissan van. The new Land Rover Defender. Tesla Roadster. Fiat 500. Audi TT Mark III in red and in blue. McLaren 720S Spider. Renault, what is that one? Renault Megane EV. Honda E. Mazda RX, is that 7? I think it's 7. 7 or 8. Mercedes AMG SL63. Morgan Plus 4. And my newest acquisition from Matchbox, again, forgive the fire truck going past, Toyota Prius 2025 release. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. I'm going to move this over here. And we start with the Hot Wheels collection. Again, organized by casting debut year. So we have Hot Wheels Twin Mill, a 2018 release, as well as the Eroded Twin Mill from Daniel Arsham Lap 3. That was the first ever made in Silkstone, or just the collaboration with Daniel Arsham. All the vehicles that were made in that collaboration are the first to use Silkstone, which is commonly found in the pink section of Mattel. I'm talking Barbie. So really cool to see that they've brought it into a die-cast vehicle as well. Does roll really well as well. We have Shock Factor in a yellow and blue color variant. Shock Factor in a Tyco livery. Dodge Viper. Power Pipes, Tail Dragger, NASCAR from a McDonald's toy, Slingshot with blue and orange, Slingshot in the Hot Wheels racing livery, Open Roadster by Mark Jones, Moto Blade by Mark Jones in my top 5 favorite. We have Blastus in the middle there, Nitrium, Technetium, Mitsubishi Eclipse, Stock R in a all clear plastic execution. That one's really cool. Paradox, Chrysler 300C, HW40, Avant-Garde, Super Blitzen by Ryu Isada, and Formula Street by Ryu Isada. We'll flip this over. Citroen, what is this one? Citroen C4 Rally, I believe. Nissan 370Z, Mini Cooper S Challenge, Baja Truck, Porsche 914-6, the chase, not a chase, as I call it. Is it a chase? Is it not a chase? The world may never know. Fiat 500, MR11, Monty Racer, Tesla Model S, McLaren P1, that is a Target Red Edition, Alfa Romeo 8C Competizione, Acura NSX, Quad Rod, Mazda RX-7, I believe, Track Ripper, Pagani Huayra Roadster, the mainline to the Super. Never found the Super, but love the paintwork on the mainline as well. 18 Camaro SS, Cyber Speeder, my first ever regular treasure hunt found in the wild. Mazda 787B, BMW M2, Tesla Model 3 in blue and in white. Robo Race Robocar, my top 5. Honda Civic Type R. Okay, we are moving on to the last Creative Options thread organizer. It continues on, so the first side of the last one was 1969 to around 2010. Then it went from 2010 to 2020, and now we're essentially in around like 2020 to 2024. First up is this Twin Mill Gen E, Donut Drifter, Audi R8 Spider, Porsche 914 Safari, Mazda Cosmo Sport, Bugatti EB110, Aston Martin V12 Speedster, Toyota Supra, Audi S4 Quattro, one of the only Hot Wheels premium in my collection. Similar to what I said earlier about RLC, I don't typically collect RLC or premium. There's still still a plethora of enough castings to be collecting. So definitely no shortage in, even if I were to just collect mainlines, there's so many. I mean, we're talking, what is this now? Over 55 years of Hot Wheels producing castings. So there is no shortage, even if you decide to remove some series from your personal collection. Mercedes AMG C63, I believe. Pininfarina, Automobili Pininfarina Battista. Nissan Z. Lotus Emira. Lotus Evija. Flippin' Fast, that's that little fidget spinner. The Porsche keychain, love that one, super contemporary design. Ravenger ST, Gordon Murray T50, and the, what's that transport called? Kowloon Hypervan. Okay, and we're moving on to the last side here. We have the Citroen, what is this one? I'm blanking on the name, C4 Rally, is it? I can't remember. This is by Majorette though. I really love the design of this one. Little like kind of adventure livery on there. This one is Majorette as well. This is the Alfa Romeo 4C Spider. We have the Renault Twingo that was gifted to me. Shout out to Lucas. Audi TT Mark II by MC Toy. Ford Econovan, I believe. And I forget the brand. I think that's, it might be Real Toy. We have a Corgi. This is the Holiday Inn commercial van. Love this one. We have an unbranded go-kart. A couple of NASCARs. We have an Ertl. This is the a John Deere. I forget the John Deere Buck, I think it's called. We have a Choro Q. This is my first ever AliExpress purchase. We have a slot car. Playing Mantis jet ski. JP Drive, produced by Tomica. The rest of these are Tomica now. So JP Drive by Tomica, Daihatsu Taft. Anytime you see that little T symbol in the middle there, T with like another line over it, that is the Japan Post Office. We have the Toyota, what is this one called? Is that the Yaris? I think it's the Yaris. Yamaha Boat. Daihatsu Taft. Oh, I think I called this one. So this is Daihatsu Taft. This is Suzuki Every. My apologies for that. We have a Lotus, Nissan Ariya, my only Ferrari in my collection. This is the pretty much an F1 car. A Martini Porsche, a Gundam, and we round things off with the Nissan 350Z. So I'm going to do one last pan of the entire room. Again, I try to stay as organized as possible through the spreadsheet, through how I organize the actual storage and how I organize the actual displays as well. Oh, forgot these last two. This one is a Norev, European brand. This is the Peugeot HR1. And then we have another Matchbox. This is the 2-story bus. So we will do one last full room shot here. Again, if you've made it this far, I really appreciate you. I am Contour Toy Cars. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And let me know if you enjoyed this long form content. Happy to make more videos. But for now, signing off.